Shellshock presents.
Ready?
Sharing with Shellshock Season 4.
New Age of Heroes.
All right, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Sharing with Shellshock of Season 4. I am your host, ShellshockPrime, and here we are with a brand new show tonight. We have all four guests, all of which are returning guests from previous episodes. So, Mike, good to see you.
Back at you, Pete. Good to be back.
Good to see you, Silver.
Hey, good to be back. Season 4, baby.
Yeah, good to see you, Caitlin.
Hello.
And good to see you, Andy.
Yeah, good to see you too. Glad to be back.
Glad to have all of you back. So, with this season right now, we're starting things off really hot because this is going to be a little bit different right now because this is about the Nintendo Switch 2 predictions. We're going to make our own predictions on what we personally want to see on the Nintendo Switch 2. And we'll also talk a little bit about the new Mario Kart and what we want out of that as well. And the community questions in the end, which it won't be questions, but rather the community's predictions. I wanted to see what the community predicted as well. So before we get started on that, so Mike, remind us what you do with content.
So yeah, content-wise, a lot of things these days, I've mostly been doing multiplayer stuff like Mario Party Madness, where we raise money playing a bunch of custom Mario Party for the Philadelphia Kids Children's Hospital.
Yep.
For Extra Life. I do a lot of kart racing content. Hopefully, I'm going to be taking more of a focus on that also. And it's just good times overall and a lot of Nintendo variety content.
Yep. Now, what about you, Silver?
The kind of content I do really is variable at best, but like generally Nintendo and PC content. Though recently, I got a second PC, which means I can play all the big beefy PC games I want. I've been recently playing a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds because that came out quite recently. Also like recently Fragpunk and all that stuff, but like generally Monster Hunter, other games, of course, Mario Party Madness. I've been a part of that as well. Slowly but surely getting back into more Nintendo stuff because Xenoblade Chronicles X comes out this week.
Yeah,
and I was gonna say like shout out to Past Me because I forgot that I pre-ordered the game back in November, and it's being shipped apparently right now. So I'm like, hey, thank you, Past Me. But yeah, that's what I do. Mostly video game stuff, a little bit of commentary stuff. Also working on a brand new YouTube channel called Third Pillar coming very soon. It was supposed to come out this month, but it's been in a bit of a development hell. But if you like Nintendo DS games and everything, come find me.
Just take your time with it. You're gonna do great with it.
I appreciate it.
Now, Caitlin, what about you?
Hi, I'm Caitlin. I generally speaking, I don't stream a lot currently, but sometime this year I plan to start VTubing a little bit. You can see my little character on screen. Model's not ready yet, but other than that, I play pretty much anything. I own pretty much all the major platforms, and I plan on streaming stuff like obviously the Switch, PC games and whatnot. Love Sega games especially. That's my jam. Grew up as a Genesis kid, went to Dreamcast after that. So. If any of that interests you, yeah, right, exactly. There you go, the classic, right? I have a podcast starting on YouTube, so look up my name, and that'll be coming up sometime this month. So get excited for that.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. All right, very awesome. And what about you, Andy?
In terms of content, a lot of my content is variety. My favorite video game is Banjo-Kazooie. Actually, I recently have been going through Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. I tried to get that Rare Racers shirt. It was sold out. I'm kind of mad about it, actually.
No, I make sure I grab that right away. I'm a huge Diddy Kong Racing fan.
Yeah. I actually sometimes I'll speedrun Diddy Kong Racing as well. I'm not like a professional or anything, but I'm like in the 68th place, somewhere around there for Ultra Free Race. Just do a little bit. I just played through Spyro 1 and 2 for the first time. Went back, started playing Hey You Pikachu again. Just a lot of Nintendo 64. A lot of all that fun stuff.
Good.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Very good. And now with that, we're gonna begin because the Nintendo Switch 2. We first people have been making predictions, rumors for the past few years. 2021 was the year we thought we were gonna get the Switch Pro, but instead we ended up getting the Switch OLED. And then it got to the point where the Steam Deck would come out, and then other competitors like the ROG Ally, the PlayStation Portal, and many other devices have been popping up to get into the handheld markets. And all this talk about the Switch 2 this, Switch 2 that, and after months and months and years of speculating, we finally got something back in January 16th, where it was just a small teaser trailer where we got to see the first look of how the Switch 2 actually looks like, as well as a small glimpse of the new Mario Kart. So, so we'll start off with the first impressions of the Switch 2. And Mike, we'll start with you. What's your quick first impressions?
Personally, when me and Silver ended up watching in the morning, we were trying to get you out of bed, and I just remember me and Silver frustratingly getting all scrambled trying to get up and watch it. But seeing the first impression of the Switch 2, I think it looks very sleek from what it has. I appreciate the fact that it's got the 2 USB slots, both on the top and the bottom, for good docking capabilities, good charging capabilities. I'm kind of excited about that for the most part. The kickstand is nice. I think they took that kickstand idea from the OLED. I think it just looks kind of sleek overall. I'm kind of hoping that those Joy-Cons are Hall effect Joy-Cons. That way we don't have any more drift. But other than that, the pastel colors look kind of nice on it too. But I kind of appreciate having more of a sleek look with the minimal colors and kind of the black aesthetic with it.
Yep.
For me, I think it kind of looks like a really sleek console with all that.
Absolutely. What about you, Silver?
As I do a little sketch here on my iPad, because I'm remembering some things here. So basically, the theme of the Switch 2 is, bigger, sleeker, and almost in a way, I don't know, sexier. Usually Nintendo.
I wasn't gonna say it out loud, but I kind of agree with you.
Look, we're all adults here. We can say that. Granted, it's a physical thing, but clearly, sex appeal for consoles was a thing back in the PSP era. Let's not forget Jessica Cho about licking a PSP.
Oh yeah,
that's so true. It's so true. That's so true though. Visual aesthetics back then, those mattered a lot.
Visuals do matter here, yeah. And a lot of people might think that the reveal was compared to the OG reveal was maybe a lot, maybe not as pomp and circumstancy. I liked what I saw. Clearly, they listened to a lot of what went wrong with the initial design. Like I said, ports on the top and the bottom, definitely a lot sleeker. I personally thought that they would make it a little more angular. I'm gonna use the Steam Deck as a reference because it's a lot more bulky. You have your grips, everything. They could have looked at Valve's design and said hey, maybe people want more bulk, with something a little more grippy. But they're no, at its core, it's still a portable device, that you dock, and we're gonna keep our our nice thin, sleek, kind of tablet design because it's worked for them. It's just a matter of making the experience a lot better. I think that new stand is definitely be better for tabletop mode, which I used a lot during the Switch era, I'd say. Again, with those Joy-Cons, the Hall effect. I'm hoping that their Hall effect joysticks. Again, Joy-Con drift was a huge pain. Is still a huge pain today.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like you can ask any Switch owner, hey, how many pairs of Joy-Cons did you go through? I think for me it was 5. I can count on one hand 5, and then also the fact that they're magnetically attached to the system, and then of course the rumored mouse mode. We'll get into that a little bit later on. I liked what I saw. It basically looks like a Switch that has evolved with the times, but there's more to be seen once April comes around.
Yeah, of course. When April comes around, we'll get to see more of that and just what we'll do with regards to Switch 2. What about you, Caitlin? What do you think we're gonna see? Sorry. I'm jumping ahead. I'm sorry.
All right.
What are your thoughts on the Switch? I know. What are your thoughts on the Switch 2 from the presentation in January?
Yeah, the January reveal. So I don't know. Some people were pretty oh, that's it, right? Because people weren't expecting a blowout. Yeah, people weren't expecting a blowout per se, but they thought we'd get more than just like a look at it in Mario Kart, right? But honestly, I think Nintendo did the best they should have done, because at this point we don't need to explain what the Switch is. This is the exact same thing, but it's like you were saying, Silver. It's sleeker, it's sexier, it's bigger, it's better, right? Like that's
Right.
as simple as you need to be with this. It is the same but more. And I compared it to how Apple reveals their new phones, right? Can you tell me the difference between an iPhone 10 and a 16? Well, the 16's bigger, it's better, it has more features. Easy. It's simple to understand, and people will still buy it, right?
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, I was fine with it. I know the news is coming, because in a month, like in 2 weeks from now, it's not going to matter, because I'm going to know exactly what I'm going to be buying on this thing, right? So I'm pretty excited about it. I think Nintendo has something really cool planned for this. So
Yep. Now, what about you, Andy? What your quick thoughts?
Yeah, I basically everything everybody else has said already. They're keeping the headphone jack. I'm excited about that. But the USBs on top and bottom, definitely excited about that. Looking forward to see what they do to expand on it. I didn't get the OLED or anything like that. I've just had a stock original Nintendo Switch, so just being able to move stuff. I'm hoping that there's a good compatibility or like a switch over, but we'll see. I'm excited, but I'm also just like hesitant for now, waiting until April 2nd.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, same. Like saying, like for me, it's like I am like just I'm hyped as always. Like new console reveals are always hyped just to see. For me, it's like the 2 USBs, great, because I don't need to worry about the USBs on the bottom anymore. Like I actually want to try using the USB on the top this time. And also like I'm curious about how the magnetic Joy-Cons are going to work as opposed to the way that the Joy-Cons worked on Switch 1. Because like if it's just to take it out, like
here's the reason why they're doing magnetic, because people put it on upside down and they couldn't get it off. So rather than like having that open, they just snap it on, you're good to go. Like
it's much easier. It's more. It's
an anti-dummy dummy proofing thing. Yeah, it's dummy proofing the system more or less.
It really is.
I hope that's how it's described in the patents.
Right, but people were like, because they saw the little inbuilt thing in the thing, everyone was like, that's gonna break, and everyone was like, we'll see about that.
I'm curious if. I was just saying, I'm curious if Nintendo did that too, because it wasn't one of the first major exploits using that Joy-Con,
the paperclip method.
The paperclip method. So I'm curious if they changed it to try and get rid of some of that.
Right. Yeah.
Remind me of the paperclip method that was used to kind of hack the firmware, right?
Yeah. So one of the initial things to do was to like use a paperclip to kind of like jostle one of the chips inside the Switch. Basically, it would prevent it from being, I guess, like updated like firmware wise or whatever. I forget the actual like. Again, I haven't get too closely on with the stuff because, again, with Switch Piracy and homebrew and all that stuff like that. Like I thought it was like interesting how they were to figure out like the fact, oh, this is a Tegra X1. If we just like disable this part right here, it's like it's blown open. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing that I'm wondering exactly is just like, it does have a better kickstand than the original Switch, but I kind of thought that it was going to be more like the one from the OLED model. It's a bit different than that too.
I guess with the OLED one, it was a little bit too open because like they had like a whole section out there with the SD card and stuff. Like I think that was like a slight correction on their end because like. Yeah. And also like the fact you can like kind of telescope it like up and down more.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
And like I do like the Joy-Con colors. I do want to see like more colors, like, but I prefer like the color, like more color on the outside rather than the inside. But we'll see what happens like when time comes.
Yeah.
But overall, hype. looking forward to it. Want to see more on what the Switch 2 is going to give us, what's it going to bring. So April 2nd can't come soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, also Maverick, I'm pretty sure that there's a third button on the top of the Joy-Cons. I'm
That
pretty
can,
sure
like,
that those probably lock in as well as the magnets also.
Yeah.
And again, they have mechanisms that will keep the Joy-Con in place where like it's not gonna like rely solely on the
Yeah,
magnets.
no, because I don't think the top of the Joy-Con's gonna have an R, SR, and then a third button. That third button's probably the grip that you have to press in order to unlock the Joy-Con.
Oh,
No, there was like a button on the back, like around there. All right. Yeah. That's Switch in a nutshell.
Yep.
Looks nice and bigger and sexier.
It absolutely does. Like it actually looks great. So now let's start spitballing with a couple of questions right here. So what features do you guys want to see on the Switch 2? And Silver, for this one, I want to start with you on that one.
Oh, geez, with me. All right. Features on the Switch 2 that I want to see. Yeah, that is a big thing because like I look at the OG Switch, which I will keep picking up and down again from the dock, and it's like, how do you improve on this? How do you really like add more to a system like this? You know, we already have like the weird gimmicks like the infrared camera on the bottom, which I think is gone from the Switch 2 now.
Yep.
Of course, we had the fact that it is you can stop off and there's like buttons inside here. I don't know, like the Switch to me represents almost like a perfect encapsulation of like all things Nintendo. Like they've said it themselves in the Switch presentation. Like it's every facet of like every past Nintendo generation built into one thing.
Yep.
Like I'm not sure like what else they could add. Again, that mouse pad that they were talking about, like I never even considered that for the beginning. You know, like maybe the only time I've ever seen that in a handheld was with the Lenovo Legion Go, I believe.
Yeah.
That had that little like mouse mode thing. But like I'm like, you know, it's cool. I can see like it's a great thing for PC gamers who like their mouses for FPSs and stuff like that. But I'm like, how would it reliably work for like, you know, a console? And I guess Nintendo might have a way of like, you know, working that out for like for a possible control scheme. I don't know. I got like nothing really to say about this because like, what else can the Switch do that will like, you know, impress me? You know, that's say the Korea hasn't. Like again, I got both these things. This is my Switch Pro. What does it do? Like, granted, they both have gyro. You know, granted, I don't think I'm gonna want the Switch 2 to have, you know, touchpads. Like that's already like, you know, the whole thing is already like completely, you know, there. So there's nothing to add, you know, besides that. Geez, it's gonna be like mostly like software that really sells this thing rather than like, you know, just feature set. You know, like a lot of like what they have there is gonna stay on parity because again, you have to realize that, you know, backwards compatibility is a big deal this time with Switch 2. Like, and we're gonna lose some things along the process. Like, Labo is essentially gonna be dead. You know, anything that uses the infrared camera, which again I'm not fully sure that's gone, but like from what we've seen in the 3D mock-ups and stuff like that, it's probably not gonna happen again. And I'd rather them not add anything superfluous, like completely disrupt anything else backwards compatibility wise for the Switch 2. And again, there's a lot of like great like also third party things like, you know, the flip grip that makes the Switch vertical. We would have a third party version for that. There's been like a lot of like other things too, better grips. You know, there's the Nitro deck that's been like out there. If anything, it's gonna be like up to the community to like really come up with like anything else for further hardware modifications. Software wise, I think, you know, the elephant in the room, I personally want Street Pass back. Like, really just, I think that's been like the major thing I've wanted back for so long.
No, that's the biggest thing I would have also ended up saying also.
Yeah, because I think compared to like the 3DS era where for connectivity, you know, a lot of people like Street Pass took its time to really like proliferate, you know, but like once it was gone, people started to really miss it, you know. And I feel like if they wanted to like increase the Switch's like, you know, connectivity with other people, a feature like Street Pass coming back would be a pretty decent like sell. Like I think that would help people. That would step more on bringing the Switch with them. You know, their thing is like, oh, what if I don't want to use my Switch as a portable? I think the community has shown if you something like Home Pass, for example, if I could do like, you know, something like a Switch, like a Street Pass relay station in my own house. If people pass by my surroundings and have a Switch or whatever, it collects their tags and stuff like that. Like there are ways to work around this. It's just up to Nintendo to like really see the potential of like what it is. Like I think what's causing them to hesitate only is the fact that it's a home console and it's a handheld. They don't want to focus much on the handheld stuff that it alienates the home console people, you know. So that's the tough part about like getting in these features. You know, you have to balance out both parties here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's my major one. Free Pass, come on back. Would be really glad to have you back.
Oh, I would love to have Street Pass coming back, but I'll definitely talk more about that when it gets to my turn. But Katelyn, I want to see what you have to say regarding what features you want to see for the Switch 2.
So I've been watching a bunch of older Nintendo Directs, okay?
Yep.
And that started right before the Wii U came around, right? So I've seen the deep dive on things like Miiverse recently.
And
I think they could. I think they can bring that back. I think Nintendo would love to have their own built-in social platform for people to play together and to share games together, because social media is what built up, sort of the current Nintendo community, right? Like, you see Nintendo fans always posting stuff, like artwork and all of this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was sort of fostered on Wii U, and the Switch sort of got rid of that, right? Because the Switch was very basic. It is just about the games. Silver, you were saying, right? It's about software, right?
Right.
I think that playtest thing we did, that some people joined, right?
Right.
I think that was essentially a Miiverse platformer, because that game was kind of lacking sauce, right? Like you could interact with people, you could build stuff. Some people made costumes and stuff too. Like I saw Miku running around, I saw Pac-Man, I saw all this crazy like outfits people were able to make in the game, right?
Right.
I think. Oh hey, thanks for the raid, Clark. But I think if you were to make essentially, each game has its own little world for people to hang out in, share screenshots, post messages, build things and communicate with each other. That would be a very organic and friendly environment for people to, collaborate and talk about games together, right? Without like a chat feature. I don't think Nintendo wants to do that, because we all know what that would entail later on, right?
The swap note incident,
not just swap note, but you know how social media can get out of hand sometimes. So I think
don't forget about that stage in Smash Bros. Where they spoiled Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the Miiverse stage.
You know what? But that's the thing. Stuff like that, right? It was special and only doable on Miiverse. So I think if Switch 2, because Nintendo talks about in their investor meetings and stuff, they want to build up NSO, right? NSO is a very big part, and I think maintaining NSO, having something like a Miiverse equivalent that's a game sort of in itself, is a big appeal for some people, and I think that would do very well. Essentially a light MMO for Nintendo fans, right? So that's something I would like to see on Switch 2. If it doesn't happen, no big deal. I'm not missing out. I got banned on Miiverse originally anyway, so it is what it is. But
you got what? You broke the law.
Someone asked a question on the Crunchyroll channel, and I got in trouble for my answer. So that's what I'm going to say.
Oh no! I was going to end it real quick by saying, like, I completely blanked on the fact that the playtest program happened, and I'm like, oh yeah, obviously that's going to be carried over to Switch 2, because they're not going to do anything on just like OG Switch. So the fact that they're building sort of like a user generated content platform for players, that's actually a pretty big deal. And I know that's being led by former Zoom producers as well. So another instance of like the new school Nintendo developers really stepping up.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All
right. Yep. We got the new blood, and looking forward to seeing just what else we'll get for the Switch 2. But Andy, your turn.
All right. Well, I was obviously like the Wii U. Going from the Wii, right? It had all the backwards compatibility where you could use your Wiimotes and do that. I'm hoping, even though the Switch Joy-Cons can't connect straight to the Switch, that you can still use them in the Switch too. Just for like I have all these Joy-Cons, what am I going to do with this?
Connectivity-wise, that would be cool. If it's still connected.
Right. I'm also, and when we were talking about the mice for the Joy-Con, I'm like, oh, Mario Paint could come back, but that's just.
I would love to see that. Mario Paint was great.
Yes,
right.
Mario Wario, yeah.
Mario Artist Deluxe. Let's go.
Yeah, just the. I don't want to say it's a sunken cost, but I also have all these amiibo. I hope that amiibo functionality carries over.
I think I want to say that it's confirmed, but again, I want to dip towards leak territory. But like,
yeah,
I want to say that they at least catch some sort of NFC in there. Like, I'm hoping because like
I really hope so too. That'd be a horrible thing.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Amiibo's a huge platform. I don't think Nintendo was gonna kill it like right here and there.
Not
I don't think so too. Yeah. I think it was in the Switch 2 trailer that it also says some of the things won't work. So, like, obviously, my Ring Fit Ring probably won't work. Stuff
Sadly,
like that.
No Ring Con. Yeah.
No Ring Con, yeah. But I'm just looking forward to seeing, like, I hadn't even considered the Miiverse or the Street Pass being a thing. But I'm actually now kind of excited at the aspect that could potentially happen.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, basically, like, a huge, like... Again, I just like, oh, like, you know, the Roblox of Nintendo. I'm like, no. Say it like that makes it sound like a lot more devious, like really weird. But like, from what we saw, like there, I think again, people are very creative. They could build on that.
Yep.
Literally.
I'm also hoping that the dock has the Ethernet built into it.
Yes, that too. Like
that's on my list also.
Yeah, please.
I don't think after the OLED dock they get rid of something like that. I think we're far past the days of needing a USB to Ethernet adapter. That's insane.
Nintendo, stop selling the old Wii LAN adapter, please.
Yeah, mine's starting to wear out.
Yeah, like it is 2025. We have technology.
Yep.
We're not cavemen.
The technology.
Yep. But anything else that you want to see, Andy?
Those are the big things. I mean, a lot of it is kind of has been said already, but yeah, the big one was the backwards compatibility. How deep is it going to go? I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah. All right, Mike, your turn.
All right. Well, like Andy said, I feel like having the dock with the Ethernet port built in would be a huge thing to have. That's like one of the main things I'm kind of hoping for, at least in terms of the dock. But Silver kind of already said the biggest one, mainly Street Pass coming back for Switch 2. That's another thing I've been kind of looking forward to, hopefully coming back. I literally just call it Switch Pass. That would be my patented name for it. I'd literally call it just Switch Pass.
Yeah.
Be able to just... No, because I miss the days of like being able to trade Mario Kart Cups where you could like race on each other's favorite levels and being able to help with the Mii characters going through the whole adventure mode and the puzzle swap and all that other fun stuff. I want to see more of that creativity come on the Switch 2. That and also maybe custom themes.
Oh, geez, right. I forgot about the themes. Like we had like basic themes. Black and white themes for Switch, and they never added any more.
No, well, hold on. I'm going to go even a step further to that. I want them to bring back the Badge Arcade. I think the Badge Arcade would be a fun thing because that's something you could bring on the go and also have on your docked console. Being able to go and like play the crane game to have like the custom folders and all the custom icons. So that would give it some. That would let you have your own personality on it besides just having the basic color theme.
Yeah.
Or also just do what they did on the 3DS and just have the 3DS themes for each game or whatever.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, pull off what they did with the Wii Channel theme. Like when you're loading up a game, each like game had its own separate intro. Have that sort of thing, at least on the loading menu. Just a little bit more pizzazz than just a basic black and white theme and a basic OS.
Yep.
Right. At least like go all out this time rather than going just basic.
Yeah, that's kind of all I'm mainly hoping for. But
I remembered something after Nintendo get rid of the friend codes. Let's just use our Nintendo accounts.
Yeah, please.
No, that's the biggest one. Also, like
I'm like, I remember this very distinctly. Like where it was after the launch, Pete from Nintendo New York. I remember going home and like I remember contacting them like because I remember like trying to like add people and thing. When I saw friend codes coming back, I turned like white. I'm like, Nintendo, what are you doing?
Yeah,
we just had Nintendo Network IDs and you're going back to codes. Like you're killing me here, guys.
But to be fair, back then, like. We were able to add friends through like Miitomo or Fire Emblem Heroes and all that, and then later other
and
Mario apps.
Twitter and Facebook and there's just like God.
But then
those are the weird days.
But like names and 1,000 friends minimum, please.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be locked out by like 300 friends.
300, like,
Yeah, I
oh
want.
my god,
1,000 friends minimum. I do
Yes.
not have 1,000 friends. Don't make it the minimum, please.
For me, like my issue is I know too many people.
Yeah,
I think I also maxed out my friends list too recently at 300. So
Yeah.
at least make the cap 5 or 1,000.
No, just at least like just throw it up there. I know like everyone has their own version of like how to extend it, like, but like at least like have enough. Like it'd be great.
Does the Xbox, PlayStation, or Steam have limits or caps on their friends list?
I believe Xbox has 1,000. Steam actually does. Like I found out like theirs is different because like it scales up by how long you've been on the platform.
Yeah.
Plus also like connectivity. I forget like what the real reason is, like, but I ran into this morning actually. A friend of mine tried to add me on Steam. I couldn't add him for some reason. I'm like, what happened? And I had to poke through my my friends and realize, oh, like, you know, like I think I might have hit gross limit a little bit, so I had to like do a little bit of trimming. But like, it exists, but like it's one of those like soft limits because like I think their whole bill is like, oh, like you don't have X amount of friends. But yeah, it's internet. We're so interconnected right now. I got friends not just in America, but also like in Germany, Japan, and South America and South Korea or whatever. You know, like it's all global and everything. So my thing is like, like sure, like you know, they had like that best friends marker where like, hey, you know, don't ruin this guy if I need to like make more space or whatever, or you know, you can separate like best friends and friends, but like there's at least like increase them, just at least double it up a little bit. Like I think we could have like that amount of room.
Yep.
Also, I thought like 1 or 2 more things, by the way, when you're done.
Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead.
No, so honestly, also, I think that having the GameCube NSO would be a cool thing to have at launch. I feel like that might be something they might talk about also.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Switch 2 ought to be powerful enough to be able to handle at least GameCube games.
So
no question.
I'll be honest. I think that's a good way to sell people on the power of the system because that's saying, oh, it plays GameCube games and it's portable officially. That's the first time that's ever been possible, and I think that people would flip for that. That'd be awesome.
Right. Because like believe it or not, like portable Dolphin was a selling point on the Steam Deck. Like a lot of people might not realize that.
It was.
It was a big thing. What I'm personally wondering is if like if they go the NSO route or like for some specific GameCube games they do like remakes. Like they did, you know, Thousand Year Door. Are there other ones that could be up for potential remakes in the future if they want to go that route?
Yeah, that's why I think that
they
could go.
They can bring back Wind Waker HD.
Oh yeah, Wind Waker HD could be, you know, Twilight Princess HD.
You know, like, the entire Metroid Prime trilogy. If they didn't already, they already got one of them. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's one of those like rumors that's been like existing because like, you know, Remastered came out on Switch. Doing 2 and 3 would be great, especially to set up for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, because the thing is that we have two on the GameCube, but for 3 they will have to put the Wii on the NSO for that.
Yeah, corruption.
Which they can do because the Wii is not too far off from GameCube in terms of power. So
oh yeah,
so they can do that.
Another interesting idea, by the way, for NSO that they could do that would be very interesting to utilize the top USB port. What if we were able to bring back DS and 3DS NSO, but also be able to attach a smaller screen on top of the top USB port to be able to have 3DS and DS games be playable on the main monitor, but be able to have both screens be able to be used in some shape or form.
Almost like a DS player.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, in a sense.
So
I'd be down for that.
Same.
That'd be cool.
It doesn't have to be the entire length of it, but I feel like they could utilize the top port for that because the bottom.
Or the bottom.
The bottom, yeah, I mean the bottom. But here's the thing: like if the Switch is docked, you could put the screen onto the top one.
Yep.
Again, the problem about putting it on top though is that the fans are the fans are on the top as well. You have to realize. So like all the air's gonna blow out. Like again, I'm looking at the video right now, and I'm like the bottom's probably the best one in terms of like, you know, portability. But like in terms of putting it on the top, it's gonna like just like be like a lot of like hot air.
The best.
I'm just saying that'd be an interesting experiment if they tried that out or figured out some way to utilize the second screen on the top port somehow.
I just
don't
or figure out what they would do like with other experiments with the top port. I feel like they could do some interesting stuff with the top, having the top and bottom ports.
Well,
the only thing they really could do, like, you know, handheld was just like again rotate it.
Well, I have just thought of something. I feel like if you can have the second screen, what you can do is if you put it on the top, why not have like some vents on the bottom of the top screen, so that way, since the air is coming from the Switch 2, then like you could just use the vents so that the air can easily come out.
It's just like a venting solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
I'm sure Nintendo would figure something out.
Yeah, I'm like now.
I'm
This
just saying, I'm kind of curious. I'm just kind of curious to see how they're going to experiment having 2 USB-C ports on the thing.
You're right, but
Yeah.
I feel like it opens up the possibilities a bit.
Yeah.
The basic thing is
They
like
have plans for like accessories and stuff, like a camera maybe, or a mic, stuff like that.
Oh, see, that'd be kind of fun
That'd be
stuff
easy.
to do. Also, bring back the Mario Party 7 microphone mini games to the microphone on the top.
let's
Oh,
forget
see,
the
GameCube NSO. There we go. Get the microphone attachment, put it on your Switch. There you go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Right.
Now, yeah. But yeah, do you have anything else you want to add, Mike?
No, that's about it. I mean, I think I went through my entire list of stuff.
All right.
More or less, yeah.
All right. Well, so here's what I think we're gonna see personally. I think that one of the biggest things, like I agree with Street Pass. I personally would love to see that. I don't know how likely it's gonna be for that to come back. I don't think Miiverse is coming back. I do think that they will do something instead of Miiverse. I do think they're gonna do something in its place. Based on that playtest that they did a couple months ago, I do think that something is definitely going to come out of that. I just don't know to what extent that they're going to go for. Because I will say this, I haven't done much of it, but what I did was pretty cool. I can't really say too much more, but I do think that it's going to be amazing if they pull it off right.
Right.
But I'm also thinking that the Switch 2 is going to keep the Miis. I don't think the Miis are going to go anywhere, because if they were to take Miis out, that's going to affect a lot of Switch 1 games.
Yeah.
Not that. I really don't want them to replace the Miis with those weird avatars for Wii Sports.
The sports mates. So so like I think the Miis are here to stay, if only because like the museum does use them for like identification. When you
right. I
sign
forgot
up.
about that. The Tokyo Museum does use them for that.
Kyoto, but like it's still like ingrained in like the DNA. So even though they were kind of like pushed to the side on the Switch 1, I think that it could come back in a big way on Switch 2.
Yep. I also think that we're going to get I think in terms of features that I do think we're going to get themes. Like we're going to start off with colored themes and more than just the black and the white themes. I think we're going to get more, like we're going to get red, we're going to get blue, green, and some other colors.
That was a rainbow.
Yep.
I'll do some pride ones too.
Yes. I also think that we're gonna get we'll get like custom themes, probably like not at first, not at launch, but maybe like at least like
Just down the line.
2-3 years down the road, because I do think that this console is gonna last for a long time, because the Switch lasted for like 8 years before the new console came out. So that's wild. That's actually unheard of for like consoles in general.
Nintendo console lasting that long.
Yeah, because like the Wii lasted like what, 4, and
the Wii lasted for about 4, and the Wii lasted for about 6.
Yeah. Well, the
Wii lasted for like 3. Let's be real. Like the Wii was
3. Yeah, three, and a really bad like spin-off year.
Yeah. Yeah, like Nintendo does not want to acknowledge 2016 at all.
Again, I was there for that. Again, a whole other podcast in the future for that thing.
Yeah, that is another podcast for another time for that. But
like, and also in the case of the Switch, like 8 years is like again insane, because like the amount of support that the Switch got, like, truly was just groundbreaking. Like compared to like any other like console, like God, like I can't even like quantify how many games like the Switch has like altogether. Like I don't know what the official like number is for like games that they have, but at least like it's rivaling PS2. I would say. Yeah,
it's rivaling PS2. Like the Switch is the Switch selling as well as it is. It's getting very close to like PS2 in terms of sales. I don't know if it surpassed DS yet. I don't know, but it's getting close to PS2. Not there yet, but I do think that it, even if it doesn't surpass PS2, it's going to come very, very close in the end. Like in terms of other features, I do think we're going to we're going to get GameCube NSO. I do think that we're going to get the Wii NSO. I would like to see DS NSO in the future, but I personally want other consoles from other companies like Sega. Like we got Genesis, so I would like Master System, Saturn, Dreamcast, Game Gear, and all that. Put that on NSO.
Sonic R on NSO would be wild.
Sonic R,
Yeah.
Sonic Shuffle on NSO. We got to do Sonic Shuffle.
If we're gonna do Sonic R, we need Sonic Gems Collection on GameCube NSO. So we're using our Switch 2 to play a PC port of a GameCube version of like a Saturn.
Of a Saturn game.
Yes.
Oh, I agree.
Brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, that's how we do that. What I'm also hoping for is that I'm hoping that we would get like more games for NSO that's not just like the 99 games like Tetris 99 or F-Zero and all that. I want something more like a new Puzzle League or a new Dr. Mario, for example. But
I was talking to a friend about this. I would love if so I recently played through Triforce Heroes with two of my friends. And that game unapologetically is a top 5 Zelda game. That is one of the best Zelda games they have ever made, and I'm so mad that people wrote it off because that game is charming and the puzzles are amazing.
yeah,
I want another multiplayer Zelda, but they're kind of dedicated to this open format, right? I would love if they made a multiplayer Zelda that's about solving like shrine-sized puzzles in co-op together.
yes,
And that's like as an NSO game where you could like boot it up and you solve like 15 randomized puzzles or whatever with a bunch of rando people or whatever. And that's the game, right? Like your loadout's different every time. Almost like a Zelda roguelike. Is that what I'm asking for? Like co-op Zelda roguelike.
That sounds kind of like that. That sounds great.
It does sound like it.
yep, yeah.
They put
Yeah, because I'm looking at chat. Yeah, the problem is that they kept putting multiplayer Zeldas on things that were hard to do multiplayer on. It'd be easier now. Yes, like when Game Boy Advance came out,
Link cables.
we had link cables. And for GameCube, you need the.
DS was like.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say like for GameCube, like it was a GameCube GBA connections, right?
Yes.
And then DS didn't make it easier, but like I think the default there was like you had to have your own copy of the game.
Yeah.
Like there was no downplay. Like because I'm trying to think of like was there any like download plays Zelda? Like no, like Force Heroes of Anniversary Edition didn't have it, but it was free, so like anyone can get the game. Yeah, there was like a lot of like weird like conveniences that you had to like work around for multiplayer Zelda.
Like the easiest way now to play multiplayer Zelda like is playing the original Four Swords through NSO because you don't need link cables now. You could just you just go on Switch Online, play it with 3 other people, and you're good to go.
Yeah. So what's to put the Anniversary Edition on Switch now?
One other thing I want to bring up is I want them to do this. Nintendo doesn't do it. I don't know if they're going to do it, but having like the ability to have on the menu parties, so that way you and like other people can just join in a game without having to set up. Like when you set up a room, everyone's already there before like you even set anything up.
Yeah, no, that would be really important to have.
So you're talking like Switch OS level like party system. Like almost like a Discord activity. Like you can just hop in and join, and that's what everyone's doing.
Yeah,
kind of like I think PSN has like has party chat, or like Xbox has that stuff.
One of the things that the 3DS was able to do that not even the Wii U or Switch was able to do is that for some games you could join in someone's game. That like let's say if they're playing an online game, you could actually join in for some games. The Switch, the Wii U or Switch could not do that. So
you couldn't. You couldn't.
It'd be good having that function on the Switch too, to be honest.
Yes,
right.
Because this is something I've seen as early as the Xbox 360. So why not have that functionality? Like just have that there. Like voice chat. Like personally, voice chat, I would stick to Discord unless like they decide to put Discord on Switch too.
Yeah, they could do that. They could like if it's like viable
Nothing's
for
really
them to do
stopping
that.
them from to do that.
Yeah,
You're right.
it's just,
But you can voice chat through the Nintendo Switch online. mobile.
The NSO app.
Yeah.
God, no!
Yeah,
Please
like-
get that app out of here.
Nintendo practically gave up on that app already. Like they barely did much with it. The last time that they did anything was Splatoon 3, and even then, like
and they've closed up some apps too, like on within that too as well. So
that app needs a rework. They need to clear that out. They need to make that like a eShop browser and like a friend list checker and
Yes.
message sender. Like, why am I'm not voice chatting with Splatoon 2 people. Come on. Now. I don't
but wait,
I don't need that.
but wait, I do want to say this real quick. Speaking of eShop and also the NSO app, have it so that like it actually works, because the eShop runs like ass right now. I don't like the way the eShop runs on Switch. And
Yeah,
I love our biggest
it's very
biggest
clunky.
hope for Switch 2 is that the shop is usable. That is where we are.
That and
at
also
right
maybe it
now.
has its
Please.
actual, maybe it actually has actual music when you're shopping.
it's some quality control.
well, yeah,
And some quality control.
I agree with I agree with the quality control, but that's definitely another topic for another day. But
Yeah.
but I will say, like, have it make it functional. Like, it wasn't that great on the Wii U either. It was the best on the 3DS. eShop was the best easily on the 3DS for sure. But the only edge I would give the Wii U one over Switch are two things. One, the music, and two, it was better organized. Not great. Granted, 3DS was even better organized than both of them. So make it more organized, give it music, and have it run so that you can just easily browse through anything and it would not lag.
Okay, if you got three, the matching game with the loading screen.
Oh yeah, the matching. I honestly forgot. To be frank, I actually forgot about that. So that's something they can do in the future. And
Just a little fan service.
I think that's everything for me in regards to features, because I pretty much said everything else, and you guys already said everything else that you wanted to say. So so basically that's the features that I would personally want to see on Switch 2. But now let's talk about the next thing I want to talk about is how much do you guys think the Nintendo Switch 2 will cost, and do you think the games on the Switch 2 will cost $70 on average, or will that only apply to the bigger games like Mario, Zelda, and all that? Caitlin, what do you think?
All right.
If I'm paying $70 for fucking jump rope challenge or any shit like that, I'm out. I'm not doing that. Switch 2 itself, $400. They need to be $400.
Yeah.
If they 450 is like maybe the upper limit, but I think, like I said earlier, I had gone back and watched a bunch of Nintendo Directs and stuff. Early 3DS era was a barren wasteland. There was nothing to play in those first couple months that wasn't Pilot Wings and a remake of a 20-year-old Zelda game. So
Or Keeping Ninja.
yeah, right. Like,
There's some weird
don't get me wrong. 3DS got some cool stuff, but like it 250 was asking too much. I think that scared them. I don't think they can do that again. I think they know they need to hit 400. That's what we're gonna get. As for those games, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, Zelda, those are $70. Sorry, kids. Like, you're paying the big bucks for those now.
Yeah.
But I do think every now and then, right? Like WarioWare, that was 50.
Yeah.
What was Famicom Detective Club? Each of those are what, like $30 a piece,
They were
right?
Yeah.
Like,
$30. I think MEO.
Yeah.
I think MEO was 50 because that was a new game.
and MEO was 50. Yeah, I think Nintendo knows that they need price variety because it's more ways for people to get into their stuff. Metroid
Right.
Prime Remastered, people question why that wasn't $60 because that's not a Mario game. That's Metroid.
Yeah.
They're not like Metroid Dread was a brand new game. Prime Remastered, they probably could have shot a little lower, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was to get people in the door, right? They want people to try new things, so they're going to give you lower prices for quote unquote smaller games, right? So
All right.
that's kind of where I'm at with it. What about the rest of you?
All right, Andy.
I just went back to look because the original Switch when it came out it was $299.
Yeah.
$299. So I say 400 is a safe price, and and honestly the price of the games really depends on the quality of the game.
Yeah.
Like you're obviously going to get those little eShop games like Jump Rope Challenge a lot cheaper than AA, AAA title.
Yeah.
So I think 70 is a good average though.
Yep.
Pretty good average.
All right. Mike?
Personally, I'm actually going to be the outlier here and think that Nintendo might actually pull off a Wii U sort of thing. I think they're going to have two different versions of the Switch to be honest. I think they're going to offer a $400 version that's going to be like an LCD screen, and then they might end up going with like a $450 version for an LED screen, an OLED screen, if you will. Because I know that they were thinking about the OLED for a while, and a lot of people were wondering why it took them so long to have the OLED screen. I don't think they're going to just have OLED at launch unless they end up bumping up the price a bit to justify it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Other than that, though, I think $70 is a fair price for games, though, but that's going to make me a lot more pickier about what games I'm going to end up buying right off the bat.
Right.
Other than that, though, I think the price variety is kind of important because Nintendo never discounts their games. It's kind of annoying a little bit. They only really do that for special occasions, like, oh, hey, Mario Day. Then now we'll lower the price like by $5.
Yep.
I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, Nintendo. So if you're gonna charge us $70, don't expect people to just
seven-year-old game for $10 off. Let's go.
Nah, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think Nintendo's going to do two different price points. I'm hoping that I'm just kind of hoping that they just stick with like 400 a minimum though, and that's kind of where it stays. But who knows?
Who knows?
Because I remember during the Wii U, they ended up having one that was like 8 gigabytes of memory and one that was like 64 gigs of memory. They could also pull that off too, along with the
gigs,
OLED.
I think it was 32 actually.
Was it?
Yeah. Wii U guy here. Like I know everything.
Oh yeah, no, the black Wii U was friggin' more expensive than the white.
The basic set and the deluxe set. But
I think Nintendo might try to pull that off this time around. To be honest.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn now. So this is where I got to go. Like it's in for a bit. So ran a little calculation real quick. So $300 back in March 2017 in today's money is $392.63. So
Yep.
Shit's been going up basically. The price of the games back then, let's say 60. Today's money, $78.53. You know, inflation sucks a lot. So
that's not even talking about the other T word, but
yeah, I guess with the T word like looming, 400 is gonna be a fair deal in terms of like what they offer. Initially, like my thought was like, I know Mike, you're thinking basic deluxe set. My thought was like maybe 400 base no game, 450 pack in game. But like, what would they pack in? We don't know. Like
I deluxe.
I wouldn't mind another Nintendo Land. Nintendo Land was great.
Honestly, that would be really great. Like I know for a fact that like packing the market would be a huge like leaving money on the table for them. They did do that on Wii for Mario Kart Wii, and it did help them sell like a lot of copies. But like 2 flavors of Switch would be interesting. But like I imagine Nintendo wants to keep things very simple for this. Like maybe one to 2 SKUs at best. Price it at 400, very color variations, let the games kind of like sell on their own. They'll make their money because like again, software sales on Switch have been like phenomenally high. Again, the attach rate on Switch for software is insane compared to any other like platform. Like what 6 games to 1, I believe. Like it like people do buy games on Switch. Like it is a undisputed fact. In regards to the whole $70 like debate though, and like people were like, hey, like if GTA 6 is gonna like sell at $100, why don't we do that? Like that is like one of those things that's like looming in the back as well.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna talk about
that,
GTA 6 prices when we get there. But go ahead.
When we get there, yeah. But like I think the way how the industry's been going now, again, like I think Caitlin had a great idea with the price scaling. If it's like something like a Zelda or a Mario, that's gonna be like maybe $70 range at best. Because they're gonna put like their whole manpower into that, and the budget like maybe 40, 50, 60 is gonna be like the kind of the standards for the usual stuff, your Metroids, your Pikmins, what have you. Anything else that's like maybe like out there, a Clubhouse games, maybe Rhythm Heaven, I don't know, 50.
Yeah, WarioWare will be 50 as well. Like
right.
Because
didn't they make WarioWare get it together like $10 cheaper than WarioWare Move It?
no, they're the same price.
They're the same price. Yeah, no,
they were the same price when they released.
The thing that I've always admired about Nintendo is that they know what their games are valued at. Like this isn't like Nintendo like saying, hey, we're gonna make our games $70 and then like 2 weeks later we're gonna drop it we're gonna be like 50% off, get it now, or like Ubisoft, like we're 6 months in, you drop the price by like, I don't know, like 9%. They know the value of their games and they know you'll be paying that price for that game.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to determine if you feel like it's worth it, like this is like, I know we're in the era of Steam where like, discounts and sales are like, very, very plenty.
Yeah.
And granted, games are going up in price, which is, an everlasting thing. The AAA developers are going to like try to stretch their dollars a lot more because like 60 isn't going to be enough for them. They got to like add on the battle passes, the season passes, the deluxe editions, pay to play early. There's always gonna be like some sort of scheme that really extends that past, $60-$70. For Nintendo, like I guess like for them, they've always kind of stuck to the standard pricing for a long time. And like the fact that they've gone, with the $70 price for Tears of the Kingdom, maybe we'll give them like an idea of like, hey, we'll keep these for like our bona fide, exclusives, like that we know you're not gonna get this on any other platform. You're gonna like come here for these. Anything else, they'll scale. And for other developers and how they're gonna price it, really it's up to them. But like, it's gonna have to be like a convincing price for people for them to like, sell it on Switch. And let's maybe hope that the Switch tax doesn't come back this time around. Like,
it's coming.
But it's probably gonna come. It's probably gonna come back for real. But like, I remember for the first like 2-3 years, like the Switch tax was a very real thing, and like it was getting a little bit out of control. Like that's why I've been like buying most of my indies on Steam and anything exclusive on Switch. But like, yeah, like $400 for the Switch, I think that's gonna definitely be a guarantee. Would be cool if they throw in a packing game, but like again, don't know what they would pack in. And I know they probably won't want to put a Mario Kart in because famously Nintendo does not want to give their stuff away for anything less than it's worth.
Yes.
Read Reggie's book about it. Like he talked about how he fought for Wii Sports to be the packing game on Wii. Miyamoto thought he was crazy.
Yeah. I did see that.
Yeah, I didn't read that book yet. That is a book I need to read at some point.
Good read.
Well,
it's a good read.
So, let's see. So, in terms of Nintendo Switch games, all right. So the Switch itself is going to be Switch 2 is going to be about $400 to $450. I personally think it's going to be $400. But $450 will probably be like if it comes to that, because I do think we're going to get, because let's be real, tariffs are going to fucking like come into play.
Just suck. It's gonna suck. Like,
yeah,
like I know for a fact that tariffs are definitely gonna affect this. I don't know how they are. So
yeah, it's just the world we live in now, which sucks.
But that said, I do think that we're gonna get $400 to $450. No packing game. Switch doesn't have a packing game on its own. Yeah. So I do think that there's gonna be like a maybe they might have a bundle down the road, like for the holidays, like a Mario Kart bundle. Like we might have something like that. I also think that, in my personal opinion, $70 games, it's going to be the standard for like the big AAA Nintendo games like Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, Splatoon. That's going to be $70. Mario Kart's going to be $70. For Mario, I think it's going to be 3D Mario specifically. That's going to be $70. 2D Mario will be $60. They're not like, I don't know about Metroid Prime 4 if that were to be like a Switch 2 game, $70. I don't know, but 2D Metroid would be 60. 70?
I think it's gonna be 70 personally. Like, yeah, it's been development for like a long time.
Yeah,
they want their money back on that.
They want their money back.
100%.
Yeah,
that's a guarantee.
And I know for a fact that we're gonna get some games that are gonna cost $60, $50, and all that. But a lot of people are thinking that we probably might see an uprise in game prices once GTA 6 comes out, because people think that that's gonna be the first $100 game where it's not like a bundle or collector's edition or anything like that. It's just gonna be $100. that sets a bad precedent for how games are. But with rising costs, with inflation, tariffs, and everything, it doesn't, and also rising dev costs. Yeah. I don't know. Like, that's going to be a lot right there. I do think we're going to see like an uprise in that, but we'll see what happens with how they handle things. Like, not just that game, but pretty much just games in general. But I don't know what direction they're going to go with when it comes to Nintendo. Like, will they actually stick to, like, they'll start with 70, but will they stick to that, or will they increase the price? I don't think they're going to increase the price for their games beyond 70.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go beyond 70. 70 seems to be like where things are going to hold, and like they're going to like try to supplement it with like paid DLC.
Yes.
I was going to say Nintendo at the end of the day, they appeal to families and kids, and they know for a fact if they price out that demographic, they're not making any money. So, they're going to keep things quote unquote normal, or as normal as they can. Right.
Yeah.
So,
so the next
So, by the way, before we move on, I forgot. This completely slipped my mind. If Nintendo's going to make a $450 console, you know what else I would want as a feature?
What?
I want them to have like a game boost mode for certain games that like at 30 frames have an improvement for certain games, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I know people flirted with the idea of like the dock like increasing performance.
Yeah.
That would be a nice thing for certain titles. If like for $450, if they charge that much for the console, we get that as a feature.
Yeah.
That completely slipped my mind. That was on my list. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I know external GPUs are like a big thing for like laptops and such. Like again, Nintendo. I think like with Nintendo, like it's gonna be like one of those things where like they don't want to complicate the whole experience. Like it's gonna be one of those like extra enthusiast things. Like that to me that's largely like a PC gamer like aesthetic, really, where like we're trying to juice up the console for like more power. I think like it's more likely to see like a Switch 2 Pro in the future, in the far-flung future, than like something that will like boost it up right at the beginning.
Yes. All right. So
okay.
Next thing is, what games do you guys want to see on the Switch 2 that wouldn't run on the Switch, both Nintendo and third parties? And Andy, we'll start with you on this one.
Okay. Well, I a lot of the because remind me, the Kingdom Hearts games that came out, those were Cloud Play, correct?
Correct.
Yes, they're cloud versions.
Yeah, I would love to see that on the native.
Yeah, same.
No more cloud games. Anything that was like a cloud game should be like native.
Yeah, no more cloud.
Resident Evil as well.
Please.
Exactly. Also, just some of the new games. I just want to see. Big Splatoon fan here. I'm excited for 4, whatever that's going to be. See the next
within
level.
The first year at launch.
Yes.
Do 2 years.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel it's 2 years. Two Splatoon on one system, they need a break.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Andy.
No, those are big ones. And then just if we can do the Switch, the GameCube NSO / Wii NSO, and just start building on that. Maybe even the Virtual Boy. Are we going to do anything in VR? I don't know. But I know that's kind of a trend right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. But anything else?
No, those are the big ones.
All right. Mike?
So I'm really gonna be like out of nowhere with all this, but you know what? I've been one on freaking Switch 2 that they said was gonna be a rumor on Switch 1, but I'm probably really dreaming big here. I'd probably want Rare Replay to probably be a thing on there.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yes, that would be a good one.
That would be really good.
There are any Xbox stuff, because apparently Xbox is thinking about like putting their stuff on other consoles. It'd be nice to see some other Microsoft games start to make it on the Switch too, like maybe Forza Horizon 5, maybe Sea of Thieves. Maybe they could work with Nintendo to maybe give us a new Banjo-Kazooie game, or maybe get Conker's Bad Fur Day on the NSO file that me and Silver will wait like 5 years for it. Meanwhile, we only got freaking Turok 2.
I say this as a Banjo fanatic. You are never seeing a new game.
I know.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I've been keeping that. Oh no,
and that's it.
Oh no, I've been keeping that in my head for like the last 7 years. But a man could dream.
Yeah, right.
I'll keep dreaming though. When I'm like 80 years old and freaking we're all withering away, then that's when they'll decide to maybe give a crap about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, Nintendo wise, the only game I actually would want to see is maybe Kid Icarus Uprising. I kind of want to see them bring that back, because I never got to play the game, but actually have it with like more controller options. Because of my 4-fingered hand and whatnot, I wasn't able to like really use the stylus to have a good way of like actually playing the game on the 3DS. So maybe having it with the actual like physical controller, I could be able to actually play the game and actually give it a proper shot.
Mm.
Other than that, though, that's just my weird fantasies, but that's about it on my end.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, Silver.
Geez. So, because for me, it's gonna be like really weird because, like, again, I do my gaming on PC and on Nintendo platforms. If anything I don't get on Nintendo, I'll play it on Steam. So it's not like I'm gonna want like really intensive, PC games on Switch, like say like Baldur's Gate 3, for example. But yeah, I feel like for the benefit of those who only really game on say Switch or whatever, having like those like big beefy games would be great. In terms of like exclusives, oh my god, like me. Oh well, first off, it could run anywhere if they could freaking configure it. I want Rhythm Heaven to come back.
Yes.
like I've been asking for it for so long. The producer wants to make one. It's been, God, what, 8-9 years since the last game, Mega Mix? Like,
yeah, 9 years.
Has it really been a decade since Mega Mix?
Almost.
Yeah, almost a decade. Like, geez, have it like the fans have made Heaven Studio that got DMCA'd. Like, we clearly want like a new Rhythm Heaven. Like, and I don't want them to be playing the hits again. I want that. Like, that's been always like a one thing where it's like never gonna happen, but also it'd be really cool if they did. I mean, my sticking point is like, hey, you brought back freaking Clubhouse games. No one knew what that was unless they were like a hardcore DS like user, like I was. Like how the first thing Pete told me when I drank it was like, hey, there's a game here that I know that you're gonna love. Check it out.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
But like, in terms of like just like the thing about the Switch, like a lot of things have come back in terms of like, Nintendo IP, like Pikmin. Of course, Splatoon stuck around for a good long time. Fire Emblem, Kirby. There's a lot there that has been like there. Falcon Detective Club, yeah, that came back. Anything's possible.
Yeah,
that is true.
Advance Wars came back.
Endless
Ocean came back. Like Trace Memory came back. Anything is possible. Like even F-Zero came back. Granted, it's F-Zero 99, but still F-Zero came back.
Right. But if there was like a bona fide Nintendo IP that I feel like really should come back on the Switch era, I gotta give it to Star Fox. Like,
yeah, Star Fox.
I feel like Star Fox got a really bad rap because again they basically remade 64 for the third time with Zero, and the control scheme didn't really help, and I feel like it's a good game for those who really got to enjoy it, but like I never really got to like get into it because it just represented like, hey, we've been stuck in the holding pattern for so long that they don't know what to do with Star Fox, and now freaking Giles Goddard in his own studio, they're making a Wild Blue.
I did see that, yes.
Yeah, so like that's coming out. I don't know, soon enough. But like, if they're getting like the old like Rare guys, like or the old like
Star
old
Fox guys,
yeah, like because I know Taki, one of the old designers, like is like freelance now, and they're making their own game, I believe, or not their own Star Fox, but like a different game altogether. Like I think it's time for Star Fox to come back. A lot of people like feel like Star Fox is like overrated, whatever. But like I feel like past like Command, and I know people hate Command, but I have a weird, strange love for it. They haven't known what to do with it, and I don't think it's really their fault, but also like it's one of those series that I just never got that much love past nostalgia. Like to me, that's Golden Sun. Like that's been in hold for a longer time than I wanted to. Of course, Pete and I we talked about Panel Upon possibly coming back in some form. I know what like one thing I wanted to put out there because like now it's in my head. One thing I missed from like the Wii U 3DS era, the small Nintendo eShop games
like Pushmo.
Pushmo. Freaking I can't remember what I called it. Pushmo, Dylan's Rolling Western, Sakura Samurai. Harmonite, I miss those small games.
Like one of the ones I know that did come back was Pocket Card Jockey.
Yeah, that was the one from Game Freak.
Yes, because they remastered the game and put it on Apple Arcade, and then they put that version on Switch.
Yeah, they did. Like I would like for Nintendo to bring those small, like if anything, if they want the eShop to like be as good as it was, I think what they missed was those small little eShop exclusives. Like people have like those little bite-sized $20, $30, maybe $10 eShop exclusive. Stretch for a long time. It's small. Maybe it doesn't like take up too much space, but it's one of those experiences that really like sticks with you if it's a really good game. And I feel like all those games have been like missing for so long because like they've been focusing mostly on like the AA, AAA market.
Like there were some of those games that did exist on Switch, like Snipper Clips, Good Job, Snipper Clips, the Stretchers.
Right.
But the problem is some of those games went under the radar, unfortunately. Snipper Clips had the benefit of coming out within like launch day, so at least with that, there were people who actually managed to take a look at that game, and I feel like that should have been a packing game for the Switch. People say 1-2 Switch. No, Snipper Clips would have been a better choice.
Snipper Clips would have been a great packing game for sure. I would love for SFB games to like make like a sequel. That'd be dope. I know that they're working on another Grimoire game, and also they just put out Crow County. Like that was like that was from them.
Oh, that was them.
That was them.
Nice.
But I miss a lot of those smaller games, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like because they were just like they were there. They maybe didn't like stick around too much, but like they had like a good like vibe to them. Like I miss those small games. Like I feel like now more than ever, games are like built to be like these long lasting experiences. Like I miss like the short games where like they just like take up like maybe 2-3 hours of your time, and then that's it. Games some games are meant to end. There's some games you can't like extend forever, and it'd be really cool if they brought back some really cool ones out there. Like, I'm looking over like a lot of like these old like one like note games that on the stuff like I remember Tokyo Crash Bombs, for example, on 3DS. That was like one I remember looking a lot. Of course, Photo Dojo on DSiWare, or Climber on DSiWare. There's like a lot of like small games, but like I feel like that's been missing from Nintendo for a while. Then I think if anything, the 99 games might have replaced that in a way, because like they're NSO exclusives, but like because they're free and everything. But like we'll see. I would like for that to be a thing for them to do. Again, big franchise, Star Fox, but like under the radar. Those small games, like get some companies to work with you again. Like really make some nice one-off games and bring some magic back to the eShop.
Okay.
Right now the eShop is full of crap.
Yeah, exactly. Katelyn?
In terms of like what I would like to see on Switch 2, so a big thing for me, Switch Year 1, was we got Doom 2016 like on a tablet, right?
Yeah.
Like that was
and Eternal.
And that was only a year and some change old by that point. So that was like super like, oh my God, they did what? They put this on Switch? And then, obviously Skyrim, right? That was in the reveal trailer, right? So people were like, oh, this is cool. Like you can bring Skyrim anywhere you want. It's crazy. Like, and that game sold well on Switch, right? Bethesda keeps supporting the Switch. So, and then we get, The Witcher 3, Nier Automata. People said Persona 5 Royal couldn't happen. Proved you wrong, dude, on Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah. Then the Switch ended up getting its original Monster Hunter game.
Yeah, they got an original Monster Hunter game. People argue it's still one of the better ones because it has certain stuff other ones don't. I have no clue, but like the fact it even got one, right? And it ran well. It looked good, right? But with Switch 2, I want to see more third-party stuff continue. Yeah. I want to see an avalanche of quote-unquote impossible ports, right? I want the modern Resident Evil games.
Yes.
I want RE2 Remake. I want RE3 Remake. I want RE4 Remake. I want 8. I want 7. I want 9, day one. I want Resident Evil 9, day one on Switch 2.
Yes.
I think that would be insanely cool. I think Rockstar, they put most of their stuff on Switch, right? We got the trilogy, the GTA trilogy, which has been patched. It's okay now. It's okay, guys. It runs well. It runs acceptably now. And then Red Dead Redemption, I think Red Dead 2. That's a pretty easy slam dunk for Switch 2.
Yes.
I think maybe GTA 6, we'll see. We don't know anything about that game really, so it's hard to say if that would be on Switch 2.
I will see.
But you know, Sega has plenty of, you know, Yakuza games that they could backport. I would love to see Persona 3 Reload, Metaphor. I would love to see those come back, right? On Switch 2. Like, I specifically, Metaphor was on sale during the spring sale for Steam, and my friend wanted to, you know, get it for me because she's like, I think you would like it, and I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it. And she's like, but what if I just bought it for you on Steam? You can play it on Steam Deck. And I'm like, but what if I could play it on Switch? What if I just waited?
Yes.
So I can play the new Mario Kart, and then when I get mad that I lose, I can just go play Metaphor instead.
Yeah.
I you know, people always want, you know, the new hotness, you know, from Nintendo, right? And I get that. You were saying like the smaller eShop stuff. I would love, like, you know, Box Boy to get like a trilogy collection again. I would love Dylan's Rolling Western to come back.
Yes.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would love if they ported, of all the games, Weapon Shop de Omasé. If anyone's ever heard of that game,
I have that game.
That's a deep cut.
That is
a great game.
As someone who hates rhythm games, that is the greatest fucking game I've ever played in my life. That game is awesome.
Not the rhythm, but the comedy.
Yep.
Yeah, especially the comedy, right? But in general, I would like to see more third-party stuff. You know, like you were saying earlier, Shellshock.
Yeah.
I want Sega NSO. I want more Master System. I want Master System. I want Saturn. I want Dreamcast. Give me those.
Yeah.
Like, give me Game Gear even. I don't give a shit.
Yes,
like,
Game Gear.
If you want to get spicy, maybe, you know, maybe work with Microsoft. Maybe we can get more of their games on Switch. Like, there's a new Halo project. Can we get that on Switch too? Right? Unreal Engine 5 new Halo game made from the ground up. I would like to see it, right?
Yeah.
Assuming this is the good one, right? It's been since 2000. When did Reach come out? 2010. Yeah. It's been a minute. I want a good Halo game again, please.
Yes.
But, you know, that third-party stuff is what I'm really interested in, because I know I'm going to buy the Nintendo stuff. I'm going to buy Xenoblade. I'm going to buy Animal Crossing. I'm going to buy Mario. I'm going to buy Smash. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, we all know what's going to happen there. If they don't add Waluigi, I'm skipping the next Smash. But it is what it is.
Well,
but yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. I definitely want more third-party stuff.
Yeah.
If assuming the ports are acceptable, right?
Yeah. So yes, I also want third-party stuff. Like, I want there's a lot that I want. I want more Yakuza / Like a Dragon. Like, imagine like we get Like a Dragon. Well, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. I will say we will potentially get the Pirate Yakuza, but not for a while since it just came out on PC and other consoles. But I would like to see. Yeah, I would like to play that someday. I still have other Yakuza games to play first. More Final Fantasy. And Square did say that they want to be more multi-platform, and this is going to include the Switch too. So, Final Fantasy 16 definitely not for a while. I do think we could potentially get both Remake and Rebirth, but we'll get Remake first, Rebirth later. Like, it'll be like,
skip 16. Yeah, skip 16. Put the FF7 games on there. Those are the ones that you need to put on Switch too.
and also a proper actual Final Fantasy 15 port instead of that pocket shit. I would love to see the Kingdom Hearts games natively. I 100% agree with you, Andy, on that, because we need Kingdom Hearts on Switch to that you could actually play natively. No cloud shit. Resident Evil, no cloud shit. Phantasy Star Online 2, no clouds. Just being able to play natively. Now, what I'm honestly thinking we're going to see, like, you know how we got Skyrim, like in the very first Switch trailer, like they showed off Skyrim. I'm thinking that the equivalent of Skyrim for Switch 2 will be both Baldur's Gate 3 and Elden Ring. I think
Elden Ring, yeah.
Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate.
Elden Ring would be huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elden Ring would be
I
would rebuy that game for Switch 2 if it could.
Yeah, that'd be big.
That'd be a big one, yes. Like Elden Ring, Baldur's Gate 3, plus I do think that we would potentially see more Xbox stuff on Switch 2. I honestly agree with that. But the one thing that I personally would love to see from Nintendo themselves, because I would love to see them bring, like, just if they were to team up with RGG Studio to make to take an old like Nintendo IP no one cared about before and actually give a reason to care about. Urban Champion in the style of Yakuza.
Like a champion.
Like a champion.
Like a champion.
I was going to say that too.
And it's basically American Yakuza. That's what the game would be like. American Yakuza.
Oh my god, could you imagine like the humor and tone of something like a Paper Mario game, but it's a Yakuza game? That would be so funny and adorable. I would love that.
That would be interesting.
That'd be crazy good.
Yeah. Another thing that I would love to see from Nintendo, like Kid Icarus would be nice to see, as well as like Punch Out we're not going to see for a long time because there was a story about it, and unfortunately, it did not sell very well. So unfortunately, and there was some controversy too. So unfortunately, it just didn't seem to work. So, but Nintendo IP is obviously Smash. But how about a new Mario sports game that's not tennis or golf? How about Mario Sports Mix or Mario Hoops?
No, I would love to see Sports Mix, especially if Square Enix gets involved with the Final Fantasy characters again. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would love to have another Mario Hoops style game.
Like mixed. Depends which Square Enix we're talking about. Are we talking turn everything into an action RPG Square, or are we talking like team that made Mario RPG and Live Alive Square? Because those are two different companies for me.
Well, I'm not sure.
I'd probably say the people that worked on the Mario RPG, at least that way they can bring in their characters and bring them art-wise into the Mario universe for another Hoops.
Yeah,
that would be cool though. I loved Hoops 3-on-3 back in the day.
Cactuar was one of my mains. He was broken with the speed.
So yeah, like I can't really think of anything else. I'm just gonna wait and see just what we get. So now the next thing is, what do you think we'll see in regards to the new Mario Kart game? And Mike, we're gonna go with you.
All right. Well, honestly, this might take me a minute because there's a lot to unpack. Even in that small amount of footage, I've been watching it back most of the night. I definitely think that 24 players is pretty much going to be here to stay. I don't think they would just put those 24 lines at the beginning and not have 24 players in all modes. That would be kind of odd if they did that. At the end of the trailer, you end up seeing a little bit of like by the Yoshi hamburger head. You can see like a weird golden item box if you look really closely at it. I think either with that, they might end up bringing back character-specific items or specials, or maybe a set of specials based on what characters are racing, or potentially like have like the triple items and other more broken items being the golden item boxes, but make them more out of the way to get. In terms of Mario Kart 9, I'm also hoping that we're going to get more newcomers that come from tour, since we had Kamek coming back and all the other characters. I'm hoping for maybe Poochie, Nabbit, King Babam, Hammer Bro, all those characters that were in tour that we didn't get in 8 Deluxe. Personally, another feature I would love for them to bring back if Switch Passes ends up being a thing, like a Street Pass sort of feature. I would love for them to have racing communities again, or kind of like the tournament codes, to bring that back and maybe tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
And also maybe also have a mode like what they do with Splatoon with like Kart Fests. It's like Maple's been doing, but instead of the Splatoon like Splatfest, we have a Kart Fest to race for your characters and all that stuff that they had in tour. That would be pretty neat to have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, other than that, I'm just hoping that's a launch day title. Like, if it's not a launch day title, I'm going to be immensely disappointed, but I'll understand. But I would really hope that the first game Nintendo showed off in the trailer is like a launch title. That would be like showing off Breath of the Wild and saying, hey, even though we showed off Breath of the Wild along with the reveal of the Switch, sorry, you guys aren't getting it for a year. That would just hurt a lot of people, and I feel like having Mario Kart at launch, or at least by holiday, if it's not going to be a launch title, is going to be crucial for like really good sales.
Yes.
Like if it's not at launch, I want this Mario Kart in my hands by holiday.
Same. I just definitely want
So what do you want to see from it though? Like that's unique to this Mario Kart, I guess.
I mean, mostly all that stuff I mostly just said, but I mean, if we're also going to have other features, I would love for them to keep the custom item like selections that we were able to have in 8 Deluxe. I want them to bring that back. More obviously, if we had like a 96 track limit after the booster course pass, I kind of want to see us break 100 courses if it's possible this time around. That would be pretty sick to have the first Mario Kart with like 100 plus tracks.
Yeah.
In terms of other dream characters, I would love to see like maybe Kirby come in to have a Kirby Air Ride stage, have more F-Zero tracks, have an actual Splatoon racing stage, not just the battle arena. Bring back some of the other characters, crossovers and stuff. That would be pretty neat, but maybe not overdo it. I still kind of want this to be a Mario Kart game, but not like a Mario Kart like Smash clone. I still want to kind of focus on the Mario universe a bit.
Agreed. Yeah.
Also, I've been saying this for the longest time. I want like an elimination style racing mode where like every lap, the last person gets eliminated until one remains.
That would be really good. Like,
because that's always like a really fun game mode to have, like some sort of elimination mode, or maybe even a relay mode where you can get like 3 of your friends, or like depending on how many people are in the lobby, like every lap you switched off to another player to try to relay race it. That'd be a fun idea. I would love something like that.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised. Like going back to like Mario Kart DS for a bit, like they had like a versus mode,
mission mode.
Mission mode for sure. That's definitely a big one. But like for me, like I remember them having a versus mode where like if you team up and like basically almost like a mini tournament, like you team up, do amount of like races and you win by points. I'm not sure that that's ever been like brought back for 8 or later.
I mean that basically is Kartfest. Yeah, basically team racing. But I would love to see them bring that back and utilize some more ideas for that.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I would like to see just what other ideas they can come up with. Anything else you want to add, Mike, before we go to Silver?
Also, I would love to see them actually have like a Nintendo Switch battle stage, like they have like the console stages. Like, bring that back.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of those is good too.
No, yeah, it's kind of a shame we haven't had that yet, but that'd be kind of funny to have that.
If they brought back mission mode and they did a Switch stage, do we have a Joy-Con drift challenge?
That'd be kind of fun. Either that or like in parts of the level the Joy-Cons separate and then there's like wormholes to take you around the different areas.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Other than that, I think that's basically it for me on terms of Mario Kart. I could go on for hours, but we'd be here all night.
Oh, absolutely, Mike. Silver, your turn.
So for the new Mario Kart game, of course, 24 characters, a lot of big tracks. How I guess like for me, like Deluxe has basically like ruled the roost for the last 10 plus years, which feels almost like hilarious to say out loud, but like it's been 10 years and we've only had like 2 separate Mario Kart releases and they've been the same game since then, which only goes to show that Mario Kart 8 was definitely a bigger game than the Wii U for sure, and all it needed was just like a lot of more TLC basically from Nintendo, which they did give it. So I think for this series, for this like game, like compared to like the previous, like again, there's a lot of like things that they could bring back. Mission mode for sure. Some people want like a double dash mode because there's like 24 players. I think we could like maybe get some sort of like double dash action in there for the double dash fans. For me, Mario Kart has always been a game that really is about the courses. It's no fun if I'm driving on like some boring ass courses. Granted, I love figure eight circuit. People shit on that all the time.
I'm a great course.
But like one of the things I've actually always wanted for Mario Kart was that ever since they introduced Mario Odyssey, like a lot of the locales in that game, I feel like could make really good like Mario Kart courses. Like a lot of stuff from Tostarena, New Donk City, Shiveria, like Mount Valdono, like they had like a lot of like great distinct designs in those worlds, and I'm like, how could you not make these into like really cool like Mario Kart courses? Like you gonna stick with like the standard like this in group of Mario characters, or like maybe like branch out a bit. Like I've always wanted like just like more section courses where you're just driving through different parts of like a world all the way down to the end. I know that they've had that most for maybe roads and stuff like that, but like more of those in Mario Kart 9 would be really good. Like,
yep.
Basically, like for example, like start on top of a mountain, go all the way down to the bottom, just like Mount Warrior, but like maybe like a non
like a jungle version.
like a jungle version, or like hell, or maybe a volcano where you go to the top of one and then the volcano just explodes, and then you get like sent back to the bottom. I don't know.
Or maybe something based on Switch Sports or another Wii Sports like Mako Woohoo.
Okay.
Right. One thing that's always been in the back of my mind is like if they ever did like a cross country style where like courses linked to other courses.
Yep.
That'd be crazy, but like again, that's like far out of the scope for like this one for sure. But again, sky's the limit for Mario Kart 9. Like there's a lot that they can pull in from what they didn't do on 8 Deluxe, and also the stuff that was cool in Tour, but like they can leave all the weird ass stuff that they didn't you have to bring back, like anything gacha related, for example.
Yeah.
The characters bring those over. You know, and everything else, you know, they can leave that behind. I don't know. It's been so long, really, because like you realize how long it's been for Mario Kart 8 that like you know. I remember thinking for a long time that we wouldn't see Mario Kart 9 for like years and years and years. And
I remember the first day of the freaking booster course pass. You called it. We're not seeing Mario Kart 9 until 2025 at least.
And here we are.
Those were your exact words. Those were your exact words when Wave 1 got revealed.
Yeah, because like it's gonna be a little while. Because like honestly, like a lot of stuff is gonna save us for like a good while, and it was true. Like now it's just like, you know, I think the best thing about Mario Kart really is just like the possibilities of like what they could do. You know, like it has become one of their top selling franchises by far, and like it is a marquee franchise unlike any other really. So really what they add is just gonna like just be beneficial for like all players. Again, courses, let's make it good. Online, tighten up a little bit. Local multiplayer, but that's more the hardware side. They got to fix whatever the like local Wi-Fi chip they had.
Oh no, I made the joke that like, yo, all 24 of us are gonna be sitting at Switch and play. We're gonna have a giant dongle in the middle. We all gotta put in USB-C cables into this giant hub to freaking play local. It's like a GBA link cable because they didn't have a good local multiplayer for that.
Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Yeah, that was awful because literally someone in our group would always get disconnected on like the first race.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, what I was thinking, I will allow one time you can remake Vanilla Lick. One time. That's it.
Yep.
Everybody gets one.
Yes. Everybody gets one. I know Vanilla Lick sucks set, but like you can make it back one more time.
It's an okay chorus. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. So, Caitlin just messaged me telling me that she has to go after this. So, what's your answer?
Yeah. So, I'll keep it kind of brief because I haven't thought about it too much. But earlier today, I was talking to a friend of mine. She's a huge Mario Kart buff. She like gets really hardcore into all the games. We were talking about it. So the Route 66 looking track we saw in the reveal for Switch 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if? So we know the Joy-Con have some kind of like. The new Joy-Con have some kind of like mouse mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about this. I thought about Mario Kart Home Circuit, and the gimmick of that game is quote unquote making your own track, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if we could do that in a Mario Kart game, but essentially a Mario Kart Maker as a feature, like as one of the options where you could. Essentially, Nintendo would give you, I don't know, 5 or 6 different generic layouts, right? You would get Mario, and then using your mouse could angle the track as you're driving along to create essentially your own racetrack, and you could share that with other players. I think that would be an extremely cool thing I would want to see. Whether it happens or not is a different question. I'm okay with just a normalized Mario Kart game that's good as hell. But I think with Mario Kart 9, they want to do something big and different, because I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and the Booster Course Pass was kind of their way of just like, if you want standard Mario Kart, you can just, here's all the stuff, right? Just here's everything from the old games, and then here's a bunch of characters, have fun with that in the normal mode, still playable on Switch 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you want like the new hotness or whatever, we have a full Mario Kart game on its own that also has like a track maker, something creative and different. So
Right.
I don't know. That would be a feature I would love to see in it. They have the new Donkey Kong design in there. I want to see if, so because people analyzing, like you, Silver, you did the analysis on Blue Sky of like all the characters, right? There's like
Right.
20 something characters we know about, but I want to know if I like the characters, right? And I want to see, for the brief snippet we saw Mario, he was much more expressive than he had been in every other Mario Kart game. I want to know if every character is like that, right? Where everyone's more animated, moving around more, making expressions all the time, stuff like that. I want to see something like that in Mario Kart. Just a little flair to make the whole driving experience more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's mostly what I would like to see from the new Mario Kart game. But as I said, I do got to bounce. I was going to keep it brief. I hope you all have a good night. Thank you for having me, Shell. KutieKatelyn on YouTube. Look it up. Check out my new podcast, I Think You Should Play. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Bye, Caitlin.
Take care, Katelyn.
Take care, Caitlin. All right, Andy, what about you? But actually, before anything, let me just give Caitlin a shout out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what about you, Andy?
As long as Waluigi's in it, I'm happy. But no, Mario Kart 9. Being a fan of Diddy Kong Racing, I always love a good adventure mode. So like a mission mode kind of thing, I would love that.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing in what looks like the movie version of Donkey Kong, I'm interested in some of these newer designs. Could we do like what Sega's doing with their new Sega All Stars or Multiverse, whatever they're calling it?
Crossworlds.
Yes.
Crossworlds.
Yeah. Crossworlds, that's what it is. Yeah. And incorporate some multiversal type things where you have different skins or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah.
Could get Bus Driver Waluigi. But then what was the other thing that I was really excited about? If they could expand in Mario Kart 8, they have that Amiibo Me outfits. It was only with the base Amiibos. I have a Banjo-Kazooie Amiibo that I cannot use.
It'd be really cool if they had
it would be really cool if they did.
It would be amazing if we could actually use Banjo-Kazooie costumes or even the actual Banjo-Kazooie in a Mario Kart game. That would be nice.
Yeah,
imagine Banjo in the classic Diddy Kong Racing car. We somehow get Jungle Falls as a retro track.
Oh,
That'd be the day.
I mean, last time Banjo was in a racing game was Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing on the Xbox 360.
Oh, yeah, good game, though.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun to watch.
Featuring Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, so seeing some of those other characters come in, like talking about the Kirby's, and we have the Inklings, Link, what have you. Yeah, doing something like the Sonic and Sega All-Stars where you're bringing in some select characters would be very welcome.
Yes.
I don't know what limit you would want to put on that, but I would be okay with like a Samus or a Kirby or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Anything else you want to add before we move on?
I think that's good for me.
All right. So the last thing is going to be like the topic questions, but rather I was asking everybody, what are their predictions? Some people gave out some interesting predictions. We'll just go over some of them, and I want to know what your thoughts are. Lemon Square starts off with this. 3D Mario game, like an Odyssey 2 or something. Like a new Kirby game or HD remake of an older Kirby game. Third-party games, in general. He couldn't specify which ones, but he wants more third parties. A game that will test out the motion controls of Joy-Cons like ARMS. Like if there was an ARMS 2, which...
that'd be good. I wouldn't mind ARMS coming back.
I love ARMS, so the ARMS 2 would be great. A new multiplayer game that is not a sequel, which... I wonder what could they actually make, because I know Splatoon just basically came out like a couple of years ago. Like 10 years ago, we got the first Splatoon on Wii U, and then we got ARMS in 2017, so they could probably come up with something. And is it a possibility that Metroid Prime 4 can only be exclusive to Switch 2? No, it's going to be cross-gen.
Yeah, switch and switch.
No, I feel like it's going to be a launch title on Switch 2 and Switch 1, though.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about the Joy-Cons, are they going to... have they said anything about the HD Rumble? Is it coming back? Are we getting a 4K Rumble?
We don't know yet.
I hope it's
it was 4K Rumble. Not you say it like that.
I hope it's 4K Rumble. Yes,
Mm.
I really hope it is. Sone says new Zelda HD or HD collection. If it's a new Zelda, it'll be on both Switch and Switch 2. We're not going to see a new Zelda for a while, so maybe ports. Maybe we might get some ports like Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, for example. Epic Man says predictions, themes, different colors at least, which we all like already talked about. Themes, better eShop that isn't web based. Yes.
Yeah.
New 3D Mario game, of course. Mouse function on Joy-Cons as a way to play FPS games easily. That would be amazing. Like, imagine like just using the mouse to play Call of Duty or to play like Doom and all that stuff.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
Overwatch or any of those other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they showed that Joy-Cons can be used as a computer mouse, I could see people make accessories of actual computer mouse to work on Switch. Like, good for applications like if we were to get a new Mario Paint or Super Mario Maker 3. So you could use a mouse to be
like a mouse. I was thinking about that too. Actually, I'm like, they could. Yeah, that basically like clears the way for like Mario Maker 3 to happen.
Let's see.
Yeah, I agree.
Lots of third-party support, activity page to see all your games time played, like on the 3DS.
Yeah, no, I agree. An activity thing would be nice.
Party system to talk to with friends, which we already discussed that earlier. Game boost performance, yes. We'll definitely want game boost performance. Actually put folders on the main menu instead of putting them in a separate menu. Yes.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mind what they did. It would have been nice to have them on the main menu. H-Bomb and Friends predicts some sort of social system with features similar to Me versus Street Pass, which would be nice. Forza Horizon 5, Rare Replay, and Halo the Master Chief Collection.
I basically made that prediction earlier. I would love to see those.
Yeah, but like imagine we do. No, but imagine we do get something Banjo related, and it ends up being a remake of Nuts and Bolts.
I'd take it.
I mean, I'd give it a fair shot.
Yeah,
I've been playing it on stream recently, and I love like some of the writing and stuff like that. So I'd be cool with it.
yeah. Game with potential for continuous content through Switch 2 lifespan, like ARMS 2, new Animal Crossing, or Super Mario Maker 3. Announced with launch window. I definitely would love a Super Mario Maker 3. I feel like it'll be time for that. But I do think that of all those, the one that I could see coming really soon will be Animal Crossing. 3D Donkey Kong in the style of like Kirby in the Forgotten Land or a sequel to Kirby in the Forgotten Land. A 3D Donkey Kong could be great.
That would be nice.
That'd be nice, actually.
Just don't make it like 64 because 64 is
don't make it a collectible.
yeah, it's too clunky for me. Mother 3.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll cry if they do it because I've been wanting to play that game. Now from Professor Icepick, and these are extremely bold from Professor Icepick. I've read this. Okay.
Go for it.
Nintendo is going to wipe the lineup of games from the NSO and start from scratch again, just like they did with the Wii and Wii U console. GameCube, Wii, and Wii U games won't be added to this. Okay, I agree with Wii U games not being added to NSO, but otherwise, I do not agree with this whatsoever. They are not starting from scratch this time.
If they start from scratch this time, people will riot.
They're not starting from scratch this time. Like they literally can't. Okay.
People would get furious.
They cannot start from scratch this time. Okay. $400 MSRP. I agree with that. Mouse function on Joy-Cons will end up being the system's equivalent of the DS's microphone functionality. We'll see heavy use in the early days of the systems. Third-party companies won't be able to wrap their heads around it, will end up being dismissed as a gimmick. That's too early to tell.
That is too early to tell. I feel like Overwatch and some of those other games could take advantage of it in Fortnite. And
I know it's a prediction, but I don't know. I honestly don't know about that one. Mario Kart 9 will be the big launch game. Other first-party titles will be forgettable, like Snipper Clips and 1-2-Switch. Well, I wouldn't say that they were forgettable. Like 1-2-Switch was definitely remembered. Like it had mixed opinions, but Snipper Clips was definitely loved. New 3D Mario platformer won't show up until holiday 2025, the earliest. No hint at a Zelda game until at least 2026. Yeah. We're definitely not getting anything new Zelda for a while. And especially considering, because here's the thing. Tears of the Kingdom came out 2 years ago, and Echoes of Wisdom came out last year. So, unless it's a port, I don't see anything. Joy-Con 2s won't be as damage prone as the originals. Unfortunately, there will be widespread reports of customers breaking the actual Switch 2 units due to the new magnetic snap functionality. Won't be as widespread earlier. which is a concern, don't get me wrong. He also says won't be as widespread as Joy-Con drift though, which it's probably going to be a case-by-case basis. I get the concern, but that remains to be seen. Now here's a big one. New Smash Brothers game will be controversial due to the significantly reduced roster of the characters. SSBU Complete Edition may be considered as a peace offering, which I wouldn't mind a Complete Edition, but make it so that, like, for those who already have the game, that they just get the patches. Like, those, just get the patches for those who have the game. No 2D Kirby games for the duration of the Switch 2's lifespan. I don't agree with that.
That's not happening.
A new DK platformer will be in development, sure. Oh, but he says, but canceled in favor of Metroid Prime 5. I
feel like half of these are troll friggin' predictions at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, like some of these are, like have like an interesting like vibe to them. Like I can kind of dig it for just being like as off the wall as it is, but like man.
Yeah, you think you're funny, I spec. I'm gonna say that right now. You think you're funny.
I'm getting a chuckle out of it.
I think that's a callback to like when Tropical Freeze got announced for Wii U.
Next Zelda will be reboot to coincide with the upcoming film. Splatoon 4 will launch with the first year. No, I don't think so.
That's gonna be a while.
Major Switch releases that had lots of post-launch DLC content will receive native re-releases on Switch 2, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but each will cost $70. If anything, what I think is going to happen is that I don't think they'll cost $70, but I do think that like they probably might just release like they'll release versions of the game, but we won't know it because they're going to look exactly the same as like the regular versions of the game itself. No budget life for Switch 1 games. Instead, all reprints following Switch 2 release will be bumped to $70, as well as digital versions in the eShop. No, they're not going to do that. No. Dragon says major predictions: Switch 2 will have games. Of course they will, but
absolutely,
yeah, 100%.
But serious answer: Mario Kart 9 will be at launch, but this means 3D Mario won't be a launch game, but will release in the next few months following release. I see DK finally getting a new 2D or 3D game. I think we'll see a Fire Emblem game that may be the long-awaited remake of Genealogy: The Holy War, which was rumored for years, but we'll see what happens. I think the mouse functionality will be huge for the system. Will we get 1-2-Switch style game with it? Yes, we could probably see something that takes advantage of the mouse too, for sure, 100%. It would also be implemented into none other than the long-awaited Metroid Prime 4 to showcase the hardcore gamer crowd how great it works for FPS-style games. Oh, yes.
I think that's definitely going to be like a way to showcase that.
And it also means that it'll be cross-gen.
Yeah.
Shad says it's going to launch with a full 3D remake of the Golden Sun games with the announcement of Golden Sun 4 coming in a couple of years.
I wish, buddy. I wish.
That's a pipe dream.
Yes. If anything, I feel like a new Banjo-Kazooie is more realistic than a new Golden Sun.
Yeah, real talk.
Yeah, for real, honestly.
Yes. Noble Boy says the new Mario Kart entry will be a launch title and a new IP will be shown in lots of third-party games, both new imports. Got to get announced. Yep. Oscar says Mario Kart 9, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Nintendo Switch 2 release date, price, NSO, revival of Nintendo Switch 1 games that will be comparable and not be comparable with the Switch 2. Yeah, you mean backwards compatible, yeah. And the last one will be from Dari Gamer. New IP, old IP resurgence that they've been sitting on for years, like F-Zero, Donkey Kong, Kid Icarus. But we did get a new F-Zero. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Streaming natively on the
right.
console, more space-based instead of forcing to add with micro flash cards. One thing I actually forgot to mention, something the Switch, Nintendo decided not to do with the Switch, but what they should do with Switch 2, being able to put your save files into your micro SD card or SD cards in general.
Yeah,
but that's another thing I'm hoping the Switch has on. I'm pretty sure it will, but I'm hoping it has a micro SD card slot on it still.
Yeah. So so that's all the community questions. So that means that's the end of the show. So
before as we were talking through this, it made me think about something.
Oh, okay. Go right ahead, Andy.
We were talking about 1-2 Switch. Did you guys ever play the Everybody 1-2 Switch, the 1-2 Switch sequel?
Yes,
I have it.
I have.
Yeah, because I got it.
I've watched them play it.
Because I got it. Everyone was scared.
So, the Everybody 1-2 Switch part, a lot of the games like were phone based, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is Nintendo going to move and integrate more mobile and that kind of stuff into the Switch 2? That I don't think we mentioned anything about this, where it could potentially, like, obviously we had the NSO app for the first one. Are we going to have a second iteration of it? Is this going to maybe, because I know we just got rid of the gold points? Do we still have the silver points?
Yes,
the gold points are getting gone on March 31st.
The platinum
points are still there.
Yeah, we still have the platinum points, and the vouchers are only going to be for Switch 1 games and not for Switch 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, I'd be curious to see what their mobile thoughts will be for the Switch 2 and whether they'll integrate it more or less.
That's a good point. They might integrate it more, I feel.
A new app would be a good start at least.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Or at least like a Switch 2 version of the app versus a Switch 1 version.
Yeah, just more things to integrate to the system.
Yeah. Again, April 2nd is soon enough. Like I feel like mobile will be in plans in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, like Nintendo Music has been like obviously popping up. Also, Nintendo Music app for Switch too.
Oh yeah,
I think that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, the music app. Yes.
But yeah, I agree.
I think that's gonna definitely happen. Yeah, we'll see. Like mobile, like feel like for like now, like mobile has been like just it exists now because like obviously like most of the stuff has been like kind of like easing off a little bit. Dracula Lost is closed. Market Tour is closing up soon enough. Final makes money, so that's about it.
Yeah. So
all
right. Well,
I mean, as of tomorrow, we only have 16 days until Nintendo Switch 2, so all will be revealed in about 2 weeks.
We're getting
in due time.
We're getting very close to it. So now that's going to be the end of it. So I've already given Caitlin a shout out, so she had to go earlier. But Mike, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, all the other good stuff, Instagram. I also have a Fiverr if you guys need gameplay footage recorded, as well as other stuff. Y'all can find me at all those good old places.
Yep. Silver, where can we find you?
Like I said, like I always say, you can find me anywhere and everywhere as long as you know the name Sylverstone Khandr. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Twitch. That's Sylverstone Khandr or Silver.stream. Put it in your browser. Again, literally everywhere possible. I exist on the internet, like just everywhere. And of course, you can see me on different streams of these guys. Shell and Mike every so often together with the Bonfire group. And pretty much about it.
Yep. And Andy, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Andy_Bundy. You can, if you also go to my website, andybundy.net, you can find all my social media there.
Yep.
As well as a list of all the games that I've played, if you're ever curious.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like As I said earlier, like since Katelyn had to go, like yeah, she is getting back into streaming soon. She's just waiting for a new VTuber model to come in, and then she'll be back in real soon. As for me, like you can find me pretty much just anywhere. Well, now more like limited spaces because I cut off certain like social media websites, but you can find me on like Discord and Blue Sky. Like especially Blue Sky, I'm using that a lot more. And I'm also on Twitter still. And you can also find me on YouTube as well. Like I also have a VOD channel for anybody that wants to watch a lot of my streams. I'm currently uploading like everything from like 2018 up to now that I haven't uploaded yet because thanks Twitch for the whole like having to rush to download everything before April 19th. So I'm working on that right now as we speak. Anyway, the next episode that we're going to be doing will take place next week, which will be Why We Love Tetris. And joining me for that will be Blizz452, Titus TW112, and my neighbor Jess. So that's who's going to be joining in next week for the next episode of Sharing with Shellshock. Yep.
Take care, guys.
Yep.
Good talking again. Thanks for having us again, as always, Pete.
And thank you guys for coming in, like Mike, Silver, Andy, and also Katelyn. Thank you earlier as well. Thanks to all you guys coming in. I'm looking forward to having you guys on again in the future, which you will definitely be on. I have some episodes in the pipeline with you guys. But I'll talk to you about them soon. Anyway.
Also, when the Switch 2 podcast comes up in terms of the actual presentation, you can expect me, Pete, and Silver to be reacting to it.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
For sure.
But yeah, until next time, everyone, thanks to all for coming in. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Be awesome. Stay awesome. Tell your loved ones you love them. Check them as always. Everlasting peace. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Sharing with Shellshock. And y'all have a great night, everybody. Good night.
Bye, y'all.
Take care.
Thanks for watching Sharing with Shellshock Season 4. Your name will be inscribed in the pages of podcast history.